welcome back. Long time no see. As you can see on the last video I uploaded was a while ago. So I kind of, before we get into this video, I kind of wanted to talk about what happened. So I went on a trip to Mexico, and I was totally convinced that I was going to vlog it. I was going to vlog my birthday weekend in Las Vegas, and that didn't end up happening because when I was actually getting into filming, I just did not feel like filming. It didn't feel, I feel like I was filming the wrong things, that I was forcing whatever a certain style of vlogging, and I didn't like that. So I kind of decided to take a break of YouTube, even though I just started, because I wanted to figure out what kind of content I wanted to do for YouTube. This is a platform that I always wanted to get into, so I'm very hard on myself on what I wanted it to be. So I think I kind of pushed myself to do content that I was not proud of, or I wasn't necessarily something that I liked. But I'm excited to kind of be back here and doing things. So I kind of just wanted to talk about that. In case you haven't seen, today's video is going to be a beauty tutorial. It's going to be a very quick and easy look for fall, for school, work, or whatever you need to get to in a flash. It's going to be this look right here, and so stay tuned if you want to see how to achieve this look. Be sure to subscribe to this channel, and let's get to it. Let's get to the look. So I have already washed my face, I've already cleansed it, I already put on my serum and my toner. So we're just going to go ahead and jump in. So for primer, I'm going to use the Peter Thomas Roth, the Skin to Die For No Filter Mattifying Primer and Complexion Perfector. This one I used in Las Vegas, which is going to help a lot with this heat that's going on right now. And it stayed on the entire time, so I'm just going to go ahead and rub that in. Foundation, I'm going to use the Born This Way Medium to Full Coverage Foundation in the shade Warm Beige. So this one is actually not the correct shade, I think. I had to buy two because one of them was the wrong color. I don't remember which one it was, but I keep using this one. So I already have my beauty blenders already wet. So we're just going to go ahead and dab that in. Sorry if there's like a really bright light. There's just a lot of sun today. And if you live in LA, you know how hot and sunny it's been. So it's making this a lot harder to film. I have this mirror right here just because I can't, since there's no mirror nearby, I can't see very well. So I'm just going to dab some of the foundation onto my lids. I'm going to put on primer too, but I feel like it really helps even it out sometimes. So up next for foundation, I'm going to go ahead and use the NARS Radiant Creamy Concealer for acne spots. I have a few acne scars. And then I'm going to use the NYX HD Photogenic Concealer for my under eyes. These two are the same ones that I had in my last beauty tutorial, although they are my favorites, and so I think I'm probably going to purchase, if anything, a new under eye concealer, because I don't necessarily hate the NYX one. One of my favorites was always the Sephora Collection one. I felt like that one was more weightless and more full coverage, and it's stuck on a little bit better. So I'm just going to go ahead and dot it right here on my under eye. And then I have a concealer brush that I use. So I use this concealer brush for my under eye, just because I don't want to sweep it too hard, and this is from Real Techniques. It's the Expert Concealer Brush. So this one you just slightly dab it right there. With the heat right now, it's making everything kind of sweat off. Sometimes I just don't put on setting powder because I'm in a rush or something, or I just put it on my under eyes. But I am gonna do full setting powder this time just because it's so hot, and I have to turn off the fans because they were too loud. So I don't want it to be super loud in this video, but yeah, so it's like sweating everything off already. For setting powder, I'm going to use my beauty blender, and then I'm going to use the Makeup Forever Professional Micro Finish Powder. This one right here. So I've used both this one and the Kat Von D setting powder. So I kind of just mix between those two. Like I said, right now I'm going to put it all over just because it's so hot right now. And it's going to be hot the first couple of weeks of school. Even though it's fall in LA, it's not going to be fall until probably November. So I'm just going to go ahead, and that's probably going to be something I add on to my routine. It's going to be the setting powder. So we just put it on the T-zone, because that's where we get most oily. Or you can just go like this to school and it's totally fine. So comment down below when everybody goes back to school, because I'm really interested in knowing if everybody else goes in late August like I do, or in September. I remember when we used to go back to school in September. So we're just going to let that set for a little bit. I'm going to put on the primer, the Urban Decay Eyeshadow Primer Potion on the lids. This is the only like eyeshadow primer I've ever used, and I am a firm believer that it is amazing. So we're going to put this right on here. I usually put this one on with my finger just because it is easier to kind of maneuver. So a little warning, I do have really small eyelids, so typically I don't do a lot with my eyeshadow just because I don't have enough space to do that. I wish I could, but you gotta work with what you got. I put on a lot of eyeshadow primer on that one. But we're gonna go ahead and sweep off the setting powder, and then I'm gonna go ahead and do my eyeshadow. So for that, I'm gonna use the setting brush from Real Techniques again. So I'm just gonna go ahead and sweep that where I had it. This is actually really disgusting because I'm so sweaty right now, so I'm so sorry. So there we go. We have our setting powder on. We have primer on our lid, so we're going to go ahead and jump with the eyeshadow. So this is going to be a little bit more of an out there eye look. So typically I have two palettes that I use. It's going to be the Modern Renaissance from Anastasia Beverly Hills, and then the Life's a Festival Too Faced palette. These are the two that I use the most. This one I think is going to be perfect for the fall. I know if you're in college it's probably a little steep, both of these. I think they're both average around $45. But if you are really tight on money and you don't want to spend a lot on makeup, I would definitely recommend probably the Modern Renaissance as kind of an investment. It's really just like a one-stop palette. You could definitely use all of the colors here to create different kind of looks for the day and the night, no matter what season it is. So if you wanted to splurge on one palette, I would definitely say the Modern Renaissance one is a really good investment. And this one is really good too, the Life's a Festival, but it definitely has a lot more out there colors that you might not be able to use all the time. But this one you'll definitely get your money's worth. And you don't really need to buy any more palettes if you're really tight on money. If anything, probably just a little bit more lighter browns as a transition shade, but other than that, I would definitely recommend this one. So what I'm going to do, again, this is going to be really basic just because I don't have that much space to kind of do anything on my lids. I'm going to go ahead and take the raw sienna right here. And then I'm just going to pop that right over my lid. So now that I have that right over my lid, I'm just going to go ahead and probably take burnt orange. And I'm just going to go ahead and add that to the last third of my lid and really put that into the crease. So again, this is going to be a really out there look just because if you follow me on my social media, you know that I work in retail. It is a more higher end department store where I work at, so a lot of times my outfits have to be very much plain and simple. I can't go too crazy sometimes. I have to keep it very professional. So the one area where we really are allowed to kind of go out there and explore more is our makeup. So I like to kind of go a little bit more out there. So we just add that to the end of the crease, and that's all I'm going to do with this palette. I'm going to go ahead and go back with the other brush that I had. Both of those brushes are from Morphe. This is the M167. And let's see. So I'm going to go ahead and just take and you just spread some of that onto the highlighter brush. And then I'm going to use the Becca highlighter in Champagne Pop. And then you just sweep that. And the facial spray really helps kind of make it more intense of a highlight. So you can even see that right there. You can see how more intense that is of a highlighter brush. Okay, and then, so lastly I'm going to use the Lolita shade for Kat Von D for lipstick. This one I think is going to be perfect for the fall. And there you go. Before we finish off the look, I'm just going to use the Pharmacy Skin Dew Hydrating Essence Mist and Setting Spray. I like it because it's very natural smelling, so it doesn't smell like you're putting on like tons and tons of like chemicals on your face. So I'm just going to dry that off a little bit. And we're all done with this look. Leave me a comment down below if you like this look. I know it's kind of quick and easy, but it's supposed to be for before school or work during the fall time. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. Please leave me a comment down below any other videos you guys want to see in the future. I know it's been a long time, but I'm really excited to kind of start creating content specifically for YouTube. I was a little bit, like I said before, I was a little bit lost on what I wanted to do with this channel. So I'm really excited to kind of jump back into it with a different mindset. And so please subscribe to the channel and turn on the notification bell because it's going to be really great content. Thank you so much, and I'll see you guys in my next video.